Hi, my name is Claudio Martinez, and with my team, we're gonna talk about an article that is some kind of hack for your life or something for innovate your things in your house. And with my team, that is Canul, Segovia, Erik, Emir, Marco Antonio Meza, Eulloqui, Javier, Rosado, Gonzalez, aka Rosado, Vielma, Martin, Irving, Eduardo, and for last one, Cristopher, Daniel, Torres, Arjona. Now we're gonna talk about how to innovate ideas arise, and we're gonna talk from a scratch that Thomas Waits decided to build a toaster, and that's how innovation starts. On his floor, more than 1400 were laid out for this kind of stuff, and these three components were decided to create by him, and that's how to innovate something from a scratch. That's how you start everything since nothing, and that's kind of impressive for everyone that like to build things or innovate some objects that are useless but they are not in reality. Thank you so much.
Well, my article talks about how the toaster was made by garbage and how the process was. I chose this article just because it was after Claudio. Changing text to passive voice was really easy for me because I had all the elements that I needed. I like how Thwaites had to manage to create a toaster. He used crude oil to make the plastic. Then, the plastic scraps have to be settled and melted by Thwaites into the shape of his toaster case. I really like it a lot.
Bird feathers are derived from reptile scales according to some experts. Through the forces of evolution, scales gradually become small feathers, which were used for warmth and insulation at first. Eventually, these small flops developed into larger feathers capable of flight. A similar path was followed for the human flight process. We typically credit Irving and Wilbur Wright as the inventors of modern flight. However, we seldom discuss the aviation pioneers who preceded like Otto Lilienthal, Samuel Engel, and Octave Chanute. These people's work are learned by the Wright brothers during their quest to create the world's first flying machine.
I believe that the text that I am dealing with is very true, since many times we are not aware of all the process involved in producing a product, and many times we are not aware of it and we think that it's very easy, when in reality it is a very laborious process and complex. To notice the complexity of the modern world is an example of how we often fail the toaster project. When you buy a toaster, you don't think about everything that has to happen before it appears in the store. The iron carpet of the mountains aren't aware of you, or the oil being drawn out further. To see which forces are working, it's hard in a complex world for you, as well as which forces are working against you. Similar to buying a toaster, we tend to focus on the final product and fail to reorganize the many processes leading up to it.
We know that it's easy to work with what already works when we have a problem. Science, all those ideas that currently work have been thrown to many tests and continue to survive in this complex world. It will take entire simulation to build a single toaster. It's amazing how the senior Thomas Thwaites managed to build a toaster the hard way, but making it from scratch.
My article is about painters apprentices who had the creativity to develop better printing techniques. I found it very interesting to see how his perseverance and his desire to get ahead drove him for decades to experiment with new photograph techniques and learn about cameras, printers, and optics. Even the photographic laboratory was running by Ives and Nervi Cornell University. In 1881, the printing techniques was Ives' idea and the process simplification was deployed by Ives.